evening. Welcome to DarkMatch. I am one of your excellent hosts, Tiefus.
I'm Christopher Says.
I'm your Spoony Lantern, Mega Fighter Free.
And I am your foxy friend Backlash, and hey, once again, it's time for What's Iron Sheik Tweeting Now? Dead on killings is smart, new generation. He not like that motherfucker Jabroni Virgil. He know how to work the crowd the best.
The fuck does he have against Virgil?
I don't know.
I just love how he's comparing R-Truth to Virgil.
There's so many things wrong with that, like so many levels of wrong.
I think it has to do with the fact that Virgil has been a running joke in wrestling for about 20 years now.
Oh yeah, there's that, sure, but why are you comparing...
Also, Virgil may or may not be signing autographs at your local mall, talking about how many El Salvadorians are there.
Oh, there's that too, but he's comparing...
That actually happened to me.
Oh yeah,
I'm just saying. You're comparing at someone who was at one point arguably the biggest African American mid-carder in WWE. She's the current biggest African American mid-carder in WWE, and the two have nothing to fucking do with each other.
Well, I don't know if the pay-per-view taught us anything. I think R-Truth is a wee bit more than mid-card.
Well, he's definitely gonna. He already has overshadowed anything Virgil's accomplished, but that's not the point. The point is...
If R-Truth were Ted DiBiase Jr.'s bitch, I would understand it a little better, but...
Yeah, if this was February, we'd have a serious problem.
You don't think he's the level of Booker yet?
No, I think he's reached Booker's WWE level.
Okay.
Pre-King Booker.
Yeah. Then maybe in 10 years he'll do shit commentary.
Iron Sheik do shit commentary? Or...
Actually, I think I'd actually be pretty entertained listening to R-Truth on commentary.
We all thought the same thing about Booker T at first, too.
Yeah, we did. Oh, boy, did we.
Hey, Booker's funny in his insanity.
At least R-Truth will have the little Jimmy to fall back on if he needs to.
I don't care if it's intentional or not. I laugh at the guy.
No, but the funniness of the guy is not what they're going for. They're not looking for us to, be entertained by him the way we are being entertained by him.
Well, yeah, plus it's starting to wear on me.
It's still a failure. And meanwhile, I am still highly amused by Michael Cole.
Aren't we all? But,
No, we're not. Save that for next time No Leaf and I are on a show together. But anyway, speaking of the show, let's dive right into it, ladies and gentlemen. We are taking a look at WWE Vengeance from October 23rd, 2011. Boy, what a show.
Yeah. Probably exceeded our expectations. Like, I expect it to be pretty mediocre. Like, even worse than Hell in a Cell, which nonetheless had a wonderful main event.
I think... we're on a kick of shows exceeding our expectations, mostly because of us setting our expectations kind of low. Thanks in part to Bound for Glory dragging the standard down.
Oh, yeah.
In general, so...
Yeah, that was something where the show after that definitely ruined it. You
could also probably attribute it to the less than spectacular Raws we've had in the past couple of weeks. That
and Hell in a Cell. Not living up to our expectations. But, yeah, it's... I honestly think, like, it wasn't a spectacular show in my opinion. I mean, it was a good pay-per-view. It was a very solid pay-per-view. I just think it looking as good as it does is really just rose-colored glasses of in a result
it's
of
it's one of the lower 8 pay-per-views, so it's kind of not expected to be a big deal.
Well, it's like there's been discussion going around in the immediate results of Vengeance that it might even be better than Money in the Bank, which I will not go that far. Money in the Bank is a case of something almost unprecedented, just like the entire atmosphere was incredible, and the end result was good, even despite having a Botch Heavy Divas match and a lackluster Mark Henry versus Big Show match. This is just a solid pay-per-view. It's just a 7.5 out of 10, like a good example of WWE having the right workers and kind of aligning, even despite like questionable story.
I'd give it an 8, not a 7.5, because I mean, it was at least a C average.
Okay.
Anyways, I say we get right into the pay-per-view. Let's start with the tag team title match, which is Air Boom versus, I don't know, what are we calling them? Zigzwag?
Zigzwag seems to be the consensus.
I was going to call him Team Cougar, but...
Yeah, also the Cougar Coalition. So.
Cougar Coalition.
It's actually a good idea, especially since Christian kind of allies himself.
Yep.
Never know. But...
Teenage Mutant Ninja Cougars?
No. So Mutant Cougar is probably a good way to describe Vicky Guerrero.
Ooh, come on now. She is attractive for her age.
Yeah, I'll be fair.
Yeah, she was quite steamy in Mexico City with that outfit. Anyway, going right into this tag match, it worked because they paired up the each of the best talents on each team, like with like their corresponding like Dolph Ziggler went up against Kofi mostly, and Swagger went up against Bourne. Like those two pairs have the greatest chemistry out of the four people.
Highlight of the match though was Air Boom doing the Tekno Team 2000 double leapfrog. It's like,
yeah, that was we were marking out heavily for that just for the recent WrestleCrap article.
Yeah.
I really don't got much to say about that. I'll be honest with you, I was kind of playing Arkham Asylum at the same time as I was watching this pay-per-view, so.
Asylum or City? I thought you were...
City, yeah, City. I keep getting them mixed up.
Okay.
Just say the new Batman game.
I don't wanna. Anyway, to keep with this, this was a solid tag team match for the reason Chris said. They got the pairing up well. I think had they changed the pairing up, it still would have been a solid match. So I don't see any shortcomings in any of these four guys.
Oh, at the same time, though, their last outing, I forgot whether it was Night of Champions or Hell in a Cell. Like I thought it was kind of lackluster. Maybe they were feeling each other out. But I mean, I thought the highlight of this entire thing was like Dolph's last sequence with Ziggler, where they're really trading holds, and he eventually like does the SOS, though Dolph kicks out at that. Like they're booking the two heels very strong.
Oh yeah, and it's working very well.
I'll give these two. I'd say that they performed a lot better than the last time we saw this match, because I remember back at what was the last time this match happened? Whenever it was, I think we were all in agreement that they didn't really seem to work as a tag team, but I'm kind of turning around on that opinion.
Yep, but nonetheless, we have the Trouble in Paradise to the Airborne sequence, and Air Boom retains, something that I almost didn't expect, because we expected the very next match to go, the other way also.
Because pretty much as soon as they announced the win, what do you hear but woo woo woo? And here he comes.
Radio.
It's Zack Ryder versus Dolph Ziggler for the United States Championship, and this was another good match.
Yeah, for his short time as a guy, in my opinion, it did the job well by planting seeds for Zack Ryder to have like longer matches. But it did seem like suspiciously Money in the Bank. Like the situation looked like that early on.
But it was also a good way to showcase that they do have faith in Ziggler to carry a program. That's one thing I want to say. Like, if they're going to build up the tag team division like they've been talking about, making those belts mean something again, this is a good way to do it. I mean, a long-term feud that they can come back to and step away from repeatedly. This would be a good couple of tag teams to have that with. The only drawback to that is it would keep Ziggler away from the main event.
Yeah, plus, like, if Ziggler starts feuding with Ryder, then he could stay away from Kofi for any foreseeable future. Love those two going against each other, but that's pretty much all they do.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, booking-wise, you shouldn't discount Ryder from this because, I mean, Swagger was a pretty huge influence. He pretty much distracted Ryder into that huge super kick that Ziggler used to finish it. So.
Yeah. And Kofi and Bourne, Where'd they go? They kind of just disappeared. Didn't
They were forced out of the match after they
got
threw
thrown out.
Ziggler back in the ring. They forced out. Yeah, they were barred.
Oh yeah, another point I forgot to mention that was a little bit arbitrary, and kind of a subversion, but again, it definitely led to Ryder losing.
But yeah, I honestly thought Ryder was going to go over because team match one night. How often does that happen that you win? But that's a good way to build up Ziggler, and that's not burring Ryder at all. The match they had was actually pretty good.
Plus, he still got his storyline, Z True Long Island story going, so it would have been kind of like, if he had won, it would have probably killed momentum on the story.
Yeah.
I'm kind of dubious on that. I mean, I like Z True Long Island story, but I really would not book a match around a YouTube show.
Yeah, that's kind of short-sighted, especially since WWE isn't really profiting from that directly at all.
Yeah, they keep it in the periphery, and they do a good job of it. But our next match is... Oh, wait.
We got a segment.
CM Punk talking to Ted DiBiase about his tats.
Yeah, because, he still works here.
And he's a face, if anyone forgot.
Well, feuding with Cody Rhodes will do that to you.
Yeah.
But they pretty much talk about someone like pulling the strings, forcing Triple H to leave, and yeah, storyline progression. Not much else.
Ooh, storylines. Ooh.
Yeah, on to another match that we expected to be shit because Eve Torres might have won, but for what both of them could have brought to the table, Eve didn't do anything stupid like booty popping before a moonsault, and
she booty popped.
Beth Phoenix was Beth Phoenix.
I don't know. I don't really have as much of a problem with Eve Torres as I have with Kelly Kelly because she can at least do
something.
Things.
She gets to move right at least once before she botches it.
She has a nice moonsault. She can't drop kick for shit, but
she's downplaying that aspect of her talent.
Unlike Kelly Kelly, who continuously insists on running the ropes at every opportunity. But that's a different topic. This is a standard Divas match. You're only going to get so much out of this when you have girls like Eve and Kelly Kelly in there.
Yep.
That's the nature of the beast.
I mean, yeah, the psychological highlight was Beth putting Eve in a leg scissors and slapping her and telling her to cry. Like, it was not much more beyond that. It was...
Yeah, I mean, you're only getting... Beth Phoenix can only carry a match so far.
Yes, especially with Eve. But another backstage segment follows that. I mean, as we said, we were happy about the finish going it over a little Glam Slam win. A little bit of tease with a previous attempt to Eve doing a roll-up, but nonetheless, Beth Phoenix wins, and we're quite happy about that. Big Show is in the back with Matt Striker, and if you guys have noticed, the Big Show has been relatively quite aggressive with Mark Henry in terms of like destroying his legacy, destroying his 15 years of like the thing that validates his 15-year career and making his Hall of Fame crumble. It's
how do you destroy a 15-year legacy of doing nothing?
You destroyed the brief time it was sexual chocolate, and that's it.
God damn.
That was already pretty much destroyed.
Well, it's basically like pissing on debris with like a very shiny monument at the end of it. It's been a good feud.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get to our next match. Sheamus versus Christian. This was all right, but really, if you saw this at Hell in the Cell, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, they were just there to work a match, and can't begrudge them for working a decent enough match.
And I guess they want to keep this feud going.
Got nothing else for these two to do for now.
That's all I got to say about it.
What was that?
That the finish was good.
Yeah, it was. But I again was expecting Christian to go over, but oh well. this one, the result of this one really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really factor in. It's a TNA undercard match that was nonetheless executed well.
Yeah. And another backstage segment, this time with David Otunga.
Yay.
To
John Laurinaitis, and then
Johnny Ace, motherfuckers!
Then it switches over to R-Truth and Miz.
Now, I will say this about David Otunga. He has a law degree, and he chose to be a professional wrestler. That shows a love for the sport.
Yeah, he waited.
Shows waste of money because a law degree is not cheap.
I don't know about that, but
he just made poor career decisions. I mean, the guy was on I Love New York once, one of the seasons.
I'm just saying, like, you have a law degree, you could go work at a firm as at least a clerk, something, anything, and make a solid paycheck and not have to travel and beat yourself up and everything. He doesn't have to be doing this, but he's still there. He may not be good at it, but he's still there. So, I mean, I'll take it for what.
Well, to the credit of this segment, they kind of push him out of frame pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because, Miz and R-Truth, they're much more interesting.
So he plays the Ted DiBiase.
Arguing over...
Yeah, he was the Ted DiBiase of this segment.
Yeah.
So between Otunga and Laurinaitis, Otunga is the Jannetty.
Mm-hmm.
That hurts. I feel bad for Jannetty.
Ouch.
But yeah, Miz and Truth walk in and they start, kissing Laurinaitis' ass and saying, they pretty much just spend the entire thing sucking up to him. And Laurinaitis
arguing over who's the bigger suck up.
Yeah, Laurinaitis tells him that he could call them the world's greatest tag team ever, but not really. And he just says that he likes the way they suck up and walks off. And they start arguing over who sucks up better. Kind of a good, No, it wasn't. It was not a good comedy spot at all. It was pointless.
Yeah, it was.
It's basically saying, "Hey, these guys are corrupt." Yeah, we've kind of figured that out.
Yeah.
It's.
At best, it's just
I
more
don't know.
War
I felt like I was being
Machine
treated like an idiot during this segment.
Yeah. It was a character segment. But moving on to the next match, thank God, getting away from that, where we can see Miz and Truth actually do something worthwhile. We have a pretty lengthy match with Miz and Truth, obviously, against CM Punk and Triple H. And Miz and Punk started off, which I'd like to see more of, honestly, just in singles matches. Just like an actual one-on-one feud between these two. Because you got the guy that everyone wants to see succeed, and everyone's pissed off that he didn't succeed for the longest time. And you got the guy that everyone said should not succeed, and why the fuck is he succeeding? Why the fuck is he the champion? But, on and on and on. And so we got a guy that you can make the argument that his career has eclipsed Punk's, despite no one wanting it to, because he did get a win at WrestleMania in a title match.
That had absolutely nothing to do with him.
Well, still, he still got it. It's on his resume, dude. But I think you can see where I'm going with this. I think it would be a great feud of what the people want versus what the people do not want.
Yeah, I agree. I think Miz and Punk feud in the future is very easy to do, especially if Punk wins the title like he's rumored to do in December.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
This would be an awesome challenger.
I would not be upset about Miz and Punk at WrestleMania, to be honest.
Fair play. It would also put another feather in Miz's cap, like another WrestleMania main event.
Yeah. And folks, if you haven't noticed, there's not really much of us to rip on this show because it was a good show, and we're kind of breezing through it, and there's not too much energy just because it was a good show. We can't really say anything bad about it. I mean, most of the things we can criticize are just kind of like side jokes that don't really have much to do with Vengeance.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's not even really much worth mentioning in this match, except for the finish.
Yeah, that's going to be the case for most of these things. I mean, we can pretty much sum up every match by saying it was a solid match.
I mean,
and the finish is what really sold it.
In terms of storyline furthering, I thought it was awesome how Punk and Triple H were basically bending the rules throughout the entire thing by like being behind the tag ropes, using each other's arm for leverage while they were like applying like a rest hold, like and getting Truth to like distract the ref.
But that's classic Triple H, and if you've seen indie work, that's classic Punk too.
Yeah, and it's also like it's good for their grudge against Miz and Truth. It's like fuck the rules. We'll just
give the heels what they deserve.
And it also kind of hints back to the whole the long-term feud between Triple H and Vince McMahon, where as much as they butt heads, they really are pretty much one and the same. As far as the mind games that they play with people.
Yep.
And in this, you're kind of seeing that Punk and Triple H are kind of one and the same a little bit, both in their in-ring style and the way they like to get in people's heads outside of the ring. So I thought it was a nice little gesture, like the whole, boss feuding with and sometimes working with one of his top one of his top employees.
Yeah, and as an aside, for like any smart naysayers, don't ever say that Triple H was in the match more, or that it's now him in the spotlight because of the finish or anything. Because like he was getting a significant amount of beatdown, like in the middle junctures of the match. That like positioning Punk in the hot tag is crucial.
Yeah, I think we've clearly established that Triple H has switched into the role of helping put the younger guys over and doing the job.
Yeah, but you can still see kind of hints of putting himself over, because I kind of at least know more than 5 times during this match that the announcers had to say, Triple H, he's one of the best.
Well, you got to kind of build him up so that he has something to put the other guys over with.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, you can't sit there and be like
No, I get what you're saying.
You couldn't do that with the Brooklyn Brawler. Who gives a flying fuck about the Brooklyn Brawler?
Pretty much. Anyways,
I like
we move on to the finish when it just kind of starts to break down, and I guess Triple H and R-Truth are fighting near the announce table, and then Kevin Nash comes flying into the crowd and just boom, lays Triple H out, and I guess Miz and Truth, they double team on Punk, which looked horrible. It's basically trying to hit the skull-crushing finale and the flat line at the same time, and it did not work.
Yeah, it was sloppy. It didn't work. So much so that I'm getting ahead, but when they interrupted in the next match, they didn't do anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they used their individual finishers.
And honestly, I just got to say this. I really wish WWE would let Nash not dye his hair and just be all natural.
He looks fine with gray hair. I don't get why they keep trying to have him dye his hair brown.
Because then he's Diesel.
They're very controlling about images, because if you have an established image, it's recognize it, and if they see any glimpse of you, they'll have no issue recognizing you. So it's a marketability thing. If you're constantly changing your look, or you're changing your look radically, it really offsets what's been established. All those action figures, those posters, every DVD they sell.
Yeah.
Video games, I mean, it affects a lot. I mean, I think it would be kind of cool if in WWE 12, with his character, they had some unlockable version where it's him with gray hair. That's the only, there's Kevin Nash, there's alternate Diesel Kevin Nash, Diesel ring attire Kevin Nash, and then there's alternate Kevin Nash with gray hair.
Yeah, there's quote-unquote main event Don Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Well, there might be the fact that he had gray hair in TNA, and they really want to distance themselves from that.
There's that, too.
Yes, Backlash, but what's TNA?
Good point. Anyways, Miz and Truth.
Will there be Oz Kevin Nash?
Oh my God, that'd be hilarious.
He's a legend.
He is a legend of WCW. One of the best of the best.
So yeah, Miz and Truth win, and then Nash brings Triple H into the ring and hits him with just the sloppiest jackknife powerbomb I've ever seen. Well, that's probably not true, but one of the sloppiest I've seen in a while from him.
So a jackknife powerbomb.
Yeah, your basic Kevin Nash, good luck, hope you don't break anything powerbomb.
Yeah.
It's your basic Kevin Nash is gonna pick you up and then drop you.
Yeah, but the fact
That's all it is.
But the fact that they had Triple H go through that, I think that kind of indicates that as sloppy as it looks, it doesn't really do that much to you.
Bullshit, it doesn't. You
Well,
try.
that could be debated because Triple H was helped out of the...
Okay, T-Fizz, you go to the nearest big guy and you tell him to lift you up and then just drop you with no warning.
Are you even on this show tonight?
I'm just saying.
No, get the hell off my show.
Yeah, come on.
Get out of here, get out of here. No one wants you. Anyways, Triple H had the helped
he can
out.
chime in as much as he wants. He's bringing some life into this show. This is fun.
Triple H had to be helped out of the arena. I guess, I don't know. I think they're saying he fucked up his shoulder. I don't know if it's kayfabe or not. There's also people saying that Kevin Nash tore his quad, but hey, that's your average day for Kevin Nash.
There are always people saying that Kevin Nash tore his quad. Some of them are right.
What does that make? Like a baker's dozen now, Bob? Fuck, guys, come on.
Dude, this is why people at Nash's age shouldn't be wrestling.
You mean Hulk Hogan's age?
Yeah. And Hulk Hogan.
Kevin Nash has had more knee surgeries than the combined ages of CM Punk, R-Truth, and The Miz.
God damn it, Noli, when did I tell you about being on my show?
That's more than 100 years of experience in ring.
So yeah, we got to talk about how pissed off Del Rio is at Johnny Ace. He's
actually that would, real quick before we move on to that'd be a great line in a promo from Nash. He's like, "I've torn my quad more times than you've held the world title."
I don't think he's. I think he's above being self-aware. I don't know.
No one's above being self-aware.
Yeah. Anyways, we got Johnny Ace motherfuckers backstage talking on his phone when Del Rio approaches, and he's mad because he doesn't want to defend his championship in a last man standing match.
Yeah.
Well,
Cena won the stip. He's complaining about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing really to say about this promo. Shall we just move on to the next match?
Yes, next match.
Okay, we got Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, and I'm a bit disappointed this wasn't for the title. Because I don't know how I'd feel about an Intercontinental title reign with Orton, but it'd be something I'd be curious to see.
Yeah.
It would put over the title.
Yeah, it would put it over pretty huge. I mean, I remember the last time that was on someone fairly significant was when Chris Jericho was feuding with Mysterio for it.
And really, by not having the title even on the line, that kind of gives away the finish.
Yeah, I guess so. But nonetheless, I'm glad to see these two on a bigger stage. And strangely enough, like I thought they were going to go on before the tag match. Obviously not the one for the title. I thought that they were.
I thought the tag match would be like one of the first two matches of the show, and then the U.S. title would be much later. To be honest, give Ziggler a chance to catch his breath. But hey, they're booking it, so what do I know?
But yeah, I mean it's good that like there is a progression between their matches. Hopefully they don't overmilk it like they did with Christian. But nonetheless, Orton knows Cody quite a bit going into this match. Like he blocks a bunch of his usual spots. He blocks the springboard kick. But nonetheless, like Cody gets a lot of great moments, and such as his moonsaults, which, my God, they look beautiful.
Yeah. Cody Rhodes is really getting a chance to show off what he can do. And according to some backstage rumors, Vince McMahon is big on him, but is hesitant to push him to the main event just because he feels like he overacts. But with a gimmick like his, how can you not act the way he does?
I thought they tell him to do that voice.
Oh, that's how I feel about it, too. It's like, with a gimmick like that, that's really the only way you can sell it, is by being over the top.
Apparently, like, according to our colleague Arrow, he doesn't do the voice during house shows. Like, he just cuts a evil heel promo. I'd be very curious to hear that, because, like, again, the voice and the mask, I think their point is starting to wear thin.
Yeah, but honestly, I can understand why he wouldn't do the voice at all the house shows, because that would like wear the hell out of his vocal cords pretty quick.
Yeah, you are right about that.
And like I said last night, I think the only way they can really get him past the mask thing is to have him turn face, and the only way to do that is to have him kind of develop a romantic relationship with a diva that, acts as his salvation, more or less. At least for the time being.
Suppose so.
So yeah, this was a very good match, but again, there's really not a lot noteworthy about it. That's kind of the problem with these kind of shows. I mean, they're good, but they're not so fantastic that we're coming out here like, oh my god, you guys, you're not going to believe this, or it's not.
Oh my god, this is the greatest pay-per-view I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, definitely
and
like
it's so shitty that we're coming out. It's just like, oh my god,
One of the other 8, so it's expected to just be good at least.
Yeah.
As I said, that definitely distinguishes it from Money in the Bank. It shouldn't be discounted how great the work is, but again, like it wasn't anything spectacular. But the finish happened. Cody hit his crossroads and got a 2 count for that. I don't know if that was a good idea, but hey, Orton's Orton. He hits the RKO and gets the win. We move straight onto our World Heavyweight title match.
I sadly missed this match because I was getting my hair cut, but...
And boy, did you regret it.
Yeah.
Because we actually had one of those, oh my god, can you believe this?
Even if
oh my god, for me it was more like, oh my god, they actually did this shit again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had no problem with that. Like, I thought...
No, I'm just you're kind of giving it away that you have a special rigging for this because it happened in the exact same way that it did.
Yeah, I know. We're getting ahead of ourselves, though. Let's just go on and say that the match was kind of boring and plotting up until the finish. I'm sure you all remember way back to 2003. You have Brock Lesnar feuding with the Big Show for the WWE title, and they get it in their head, what if someone superplexes the Big Show off the top rope? And we all know what happened there. So they do it again.
And that's another 3 years off of Big Show's career.
Yeah, probably. But I didn't think this match was as plotting. I mean, I thought that there was like Show was at least trying to attack, like he was living up to his promos by like really targeting Mark Henry's leg and almost kind of giving it him that. Oh no, wait, it was the other way around. My mistake. My point kind of falls apart, but nonetheless, I liked it. I thought that their spots against each other were very decisive, and
it was a good showcase of what two dependable to extremely entertaining power wrestlers can do.
Yeah. I mean, I've just kind of given up on Mark Henry ever entertaining me, but again with the finish, Tifus, you were saying that the ring basically fell apart in the exact same way they did back in 2003, and you actually are right. I actually went back and watched the original Superplex. The ring came apart the exact same way. Wow. The same ring post popped off. It sagged in the same direction.
The only difference is Mark Henry instead of Brock Lesnar. That's the only difference.
Yep, but
what I really want to talk about is after the match because they're really playing it up like, oh shit, these guys are hurt because Big Show's not getting up, Henry's not getting up, and they bring out the luggage cart again. That's the same one they used at Money in the Bank when Mark Henry broke Big Show's leg with the chair.
Yeah. To
haul him off, and then they're trying to help Mark Henry out of the arena, but he doesn't want their help because because he keeps throwing off and he's trying to do like the intimidating giant, like, oh, I don't need anybody's help, but he can't stand up.
He looks drunk.
It came off like he was drunk.
Yes, he was like, "You get out of here! I can walk."
Like, I'm the champion. I'm so, oh shit.
He played.
I can walk on my legs, tumble.
Well, to steal a line from No Leaf, go find a big guy and have him do that to you and see how well you can walk after that. That's all I'm saying.
But actually, another point
wow.
Don't even suggest that.
Wow. What are we in prison now?
Maybe.
I'm going to call you Mary.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad enough if War Machine does it to Jeff Jarrett. He doesn't need to do it to us.
All right, enough about Jeff Jarrett on the WWE. Enough about Jeff Jarrett on the WWE show. We have to.
Well, oh wait, never mind.
Big open
Stop
space.
saying that.
Yeah, but
Get off my show while you're at it.
let's get back to the show. And it's not your show. You're the new guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got Teddy Long and Johnny Ace motherfuckers coming out to the ring, and they give Laurinaitis the mic, and of course he has to go through his whole spiel. Can I have your attention? I am John Laurinaitis, Executive Vice President in charge of Talent Relations and the Interim Raw General Manager. And I did that a lot faster than he does, of course. And he says, I'm going to give you exactly what I want. I mean what you want, and we will have the WWE title match tonight. Now,
For the way he said it almost made it sound like Warrior.
I honestly do not think that was a botch.
it's being debated if that was a botch or
It
not.
was not a botch.
No. That was,
I get the feeling that they try to be a little bit more subtle than that.
Laurinaitis, subtle? The guy that pulled out his cell phone while in the arena at the last pay-per-view? When Triple H's job was on the line?
The guy who
Wearing
knowing
less
the
subtle
guy
to be
who we
tying
all
Kelly
know
Kelly to the train tracks.
magazines in the back.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
The guy who pretty much said to the Bellas what their use is on Raw.
I don't know. I guess I'm just sick of WWE trying to spell out everything for me like an idiot. I get it. He's evil.
Mr. You suck as a tag team. Keep sucking up to me, though.
He's the cigarette smoking man, as far as I'm concerned, in more ways than one.
Bow Chicka Wow Wow?
Nobody watches X-Files. Well, good. I don't either. I just know about the cigarette smoking man.
You already outed yourself.
Ooh.
Too late now.
But yeah, who cares about the X-Files? I never really thought there was any problem with that. But next match, John Cena versus Del Rio.
Trying to play it off now. Like it's even a big deal.
Don't try and play off. Don't watch that show.
Yeah, and I don't watch My Little Pony. What's your point?
I don't watch My Little Pony.
I do.
That's the point. That was me being sarcastic.
That's the joke.
I don't watch the X-Files.
Winter wrap up, winter wrap up.
Are we going to debate whether or not Christopher says watch the X-Files? Or are we going to talk about the main event?
Yeah.
Main event.
Which I can't discredit these guys. They the fucking broken ring. I wonder if they practiced.
That'd have been funny to watch.
They did insanely well with what they had. It wasn't like none of any of the portions of the backstage brawls when they were going around. There was no lull. There was no dull moment. These guys worked their asses off.
Yep. And this was a lengthy match too. I mean, Jesus Christ. But you know that's how last man and standing matches usually go. But this was all over the place too.
Yeah, I could say I like this more than Orton and CM Punk's match at I believe it was Extreme Rules. I mean, fuck. They made a great use of the set, the ringside, the broken ring. I mean, ask Ricardo Rodriguez.
They made good use of camera angles in the back.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess we should point out some specific
exactly
moments.
what I'm talking about with that.
Oh, yeah. There were two memorable moments from...
well, the first one I want to point out is, because they go to the interview area where they were conducting all the interviews, like where Matt Striker was interviewing Big Show, and they have all those steel slabs set up around there as part of the set piece, and Cena's knocked out on those, and Del Rio just starts pushing those slabs over. There's like 5 of them.
I don't think they're really steel. I think they're aluminum, but
I don't know. They were made of some kind of metal.
Shit, and probably
He made them
like
like
hell.
they made some aluminum noises.
I'm so disappointed for as much as Cena no-sells. I just wanted him to just this once no-sell it and just punch his way right out of that.
Oh, you wanted to do like him to do a whole
I
kind
don't
of
care if it looks. I don't care how it looks to the IWC. That just would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been
Shred
great.
moment.
He's going Super Cena!
Not to reference Kevin Nash again, but you guys remember Ninja Turtles 2?
No.
The very end with the
Super Shredder, right?
the doc they
Ninja rap.
after that.
After that, he punches through,
Shredder and collapses the deck on himself, and all of a sudden the last thing, he's boom! A hand just punches through the collapsed deck, and then just falls over. I thought that would have been a great.
There were two memorable moments from Ricardo. First, as soon as the bell rings, Alberto tries to throw Ricardo at Cena like a weapon.
Yeah.
And he gets the attitude adjustment.
Yeah. Then later on, he gets the broken ring post in his nuts.
Yes, I mean, you could tell.
No, that was a twofer. Because he gets thrown into it, hits him square in the nuts, and then Cena throws Del Rio on top of the broken ring post, and it's just go boing, catapult.
Yeah.
Right into his nuts.
It's like you could tell, well, they rigged it up, gimmicked it up, but that looked a lot more genuine than the poor makeup job they had on his eye for that shiner.
Well, didn't he have a moment too on the stage where he jumped on Cena's back?
I don't think. I mean, I remember him jumping on Big Show's back on SmackDown, but
I clearly remember him jumping on Cena's back last night, and Alberto Del Rio going to punch Cena, and he ducks and just punches Rodriguez right off of Cena's back.
I would imagine that's what happened. Sounds correct to me. But
there was another moment in the backstage area where Cena knocks Alberto Del Rio down and then goes behind a set of, I guess, cabinets. I don't know what this. It's like this big black case on wheels. It's like
those
8 feet tall.
Production boxes. I like to.
Yeah. He just pushes it over, and this is what I was saying earlier with the camera angles. Good use of that, because this thing just falls over, and you don't see Del Rio at all. You're like, where the fuck?
He tried to murder him.
He just cracked him with the
basically.
box. Is the referee going to start counting? And all of a sudden, boop! He just pops up behind it like nothing.
Yeah.
It's like that was pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, but this was a match to oh god, it was hardcore as an ECW mark. They did some good things with the Vengeance set, including that huge V. Del Rio whipped Cena into it, crashed right through it, and he was going to do a spot. God knows what he was going to do. He was climbing up on one of the set pieces, laid Cena out on a table, but then Cena just grabbed him and launched him onto it.
Yeah.
And it's worth pointing out that this was on a concrete floor.
Yeah.
Yow.
To quote JR from Twitter, 2 very sore dudes the next morning. They fucking tore this house down in this match. But they make their way back to the ring, and out comes everyone's favorite shitty tag team that's good at sucking up. Awesome Truth comes out and attacks Cena and hits him with both of their individual finishers, and it's a last man standing match, so there's no disqualification. And Cena, the ref starts counting, and amazingly, Cena gets up before the count concludes. So, how much of an impact this had on the match itself is really debatable. But
he wasn't standing, so
we'll see. This allows Del Rio to get the last shot with the belt, which is perfect. That's what you got to do to get someone like Del Rio over.
At least he didn't use duct tape.
No.
Are you serious?
I don't think we'll refer back to that.
Stoop that low.
Come on, of all things. I mean, way to bury Batista on his way out, you know?
I don't know. Batista, I'm sure Batista was fully willing to just shout "I quit" on a wheelchair.
Yeah. But
it was like the Jericho exit. He goes out kicking and screaming.
Yeah, but I mean, just in that match though, I mean, fucking duct tape. But I digress. That's not here nor there. Del Rio gets the win, and that's pretty much the pay-per-view.
Yep.
Overall thoughts? Anyone, or I guess Chris just gave you his. Final thoughts?
Yeah, this was a good pay-per-view. I liked it. I like what it's setting up. I'm curious to see if Cena's going to be feuding with Miz and Truth, because I think that could be good actually.
Yeah, I think there's some good stuff to come from here. This is obviously a bridge pay-per-view. It's not a main event pay-per-view. And, when you got 2 pay-per-views in a month, what are you going to do? I think that's part of the issue with this pay-per-view, too, is like, going into it, that was working against it. We came off of, it's the second pay-per-view in a month, and the first one was kind of lackluster and very gimmicky, so it was Hell in a Cell. So, this one, we're like, what's the point? It's the week after Bound for Glory, so again, fuck, another pay-per-view. And you get there and you're like, lowered expectations. Oh shit, this wasn't even that bad. I mean, even with higher expectations, it'd still be a good pay-per-view.
I do feel like they need less pay-per-views, though. It's getting ridiculous.
I think we all feel that way.
Well, didn't they cut down the number of pay-per-views already?
Well, there's 14, I think it's like 14 instead of the 16 they had, or...
Actually, to field that, Tifus, they didn't cut down on pay-per-views, they just changed bragging rights, which is one of the worst ideas ever to this, and God knows we don't need bragging rights. Leave the elimination matches to Survivor Series, which, by the way, that better be explosive.
There was like one pay-per-view.
Well, originally they changed this to bragging rights, and then they brought Dungeon back.
Yeah.
Honestly, I hope they do away with all the gimmick pay-per-views soon, and just let the gimmick matches evolve naturally from the feud.
Yeah, and keep the Royal Rumble, of course.
Yeah, I mean, naturally, in Survivor Series too, but...
Yeah.
Even though Money in the Bank has pretty much solidified itself, like, I think that match is a lot more over than just like a random gimmick.
Yeah, okay, so Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series. I would love to see a return of the King of the Ring, because that's not really a gimmick pay-per-view, it's a tournament pay-per-view.
Yeah, and Triple H has always been talking about introducing War Games.
I don't want to see that.
Okay.
It's kind of a big, giant clusterfuck match.
But yeah, so I gotta say, closing statement, Survivor Series had better be explosive because I'm fucking going. $108.
Well, you get to see the return of The Rock to the ring.
I mean, that'll be, like, incredible. Regardless of how I feel about, like, the way they're using him lately, it'll be pretty awesome being there when he comes around.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's about it for us. Mega Fighter, you got anything else?
No, it was pretty much a solid pay-per-view, really.
Okay. Well, with that, it's time for everyone's favorite game. I get more and more depressed every time we play it.
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre.
And Drew McIntyre this time?
Yep.
Drew McIntyre.
What gets more screen time than Drew McIntyre?
This didn't actually happen in the night, but Tifus's possibility that Cody Rhodes might pair up with a diva gets more screen time than Drew McIntyre attempting to pair up with a diva.
I'm going to go with attempted murder got more screen time than Drew McIntyre.
Damn it, that was going to be mine.
Courts.
Brock Lesnar rehash and reference number 47 this year got more screen time than Drew McIntyre.
Come to pain.
Oh, come on, what is it? A fucking video game, references in commentary, and now this? Seriously. Come on, guys.
It's a lot of references.
It is.
Failed comedy bits with Miz and R-Truth got more screen time than Drew McIntyre.
God damn, it sucks when there's a good pay-per-view, because it really just sucks the piss out of us being snarky assholes.
Yeah. Damn it.
Oh,
Goddamn WWE having standards.
Equality.
With that, I guess we'll just wrap it up here before we drag it on any further. For No Leaf Clover, who is not on this show, I am Tifus.
I'm in the danger zone!
Stop it!
For War Machine,
Here's
Here's my
Christopher says,
catchphrase, no league.
I'm your Fox your friend Backlash, and that's all for tonight. Good night!
Ah!
I'm Mega Fire Free. I'm gonna catchphrase.
And we're done.
Did you say you were going to castrate someone?
I said I don't.
Now we're
Said I don't get a catchphrase.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm going to make that pulled pork sandwich. In case it isn't a pot pie, right, No Leaf?
Huh? Oh, right, Popeyes. Sorry.